None of the Empress's favourites, though. They all got away safe and sound.
I always have to pause the game just to get to my PlayStation menu stuff, because it's always the oddity of FF16. No other game of I streamed does it, so it really stands out, but I digress. Good numbing. Hello YouTube, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to Session 6 of Final Fantasy XVI, where last time we had our fateful encounter with Hugo, and took the fight to him directly, and won! We de-armed him a little bit, to put it mildly. But he managed to get away, so we need to track that bitch down if we're going to try and find him. But, for our trouble, we gained new power. The power of Titan. God, that would be fun to get. I'm gonna save. I've been eyeing up what I kind of like and would like to get, but no, I'm gonna save. Because the only thing from Ramu was this. The other two I really didn't care about too much, because that's just kind of eh. That's a nice get off me, but we've got other attacks that can fulfill that same criteria. I do, whereas at some point need to mess with this a bit more, because I know this could have, it has some help. It has some, like, kick to it. But I think I'm going to save to just get the last limit break bar, if I'm honest. As a very loud vehicle starts passing by, because it wouldn't be an Atelier Robu stream if it wasn't for a loud vehicle passing us by very slowly. It's a big old truck. Hopefully it'll pass. Well, actually, I can just start this cutscene so I can turn off my mic then and just let it talk.
Otto, is now a good time?
It's not a bad one. How's Jill doing?
She's been better. Tai is making sure she gets the rest she needs.
Good.
Any word on Kupka's movements?
Vivian's doing what she can to try and track him, but she's feeding on scraps. We've sent ours out to the curse breakers and their other friends in the west, asking them to keep their eyes peeled for anything unusual. No leads yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Right. Let me know when you find something.
There he is. All right, Clive.
Who's this sparky young lady?
Mid. When did you get back?
Is this Sid's daughter that we've been hearing about?
What about your studies?
Adjourned. Since Hugo Kupka invaded Rosaria. All the canvas in uproar about it. He's gone mad. He's turned rogue. It'll be us next. You try concentrating with all of that.
All right. You win.
How long will you be staying this time?
Dunno. A while, most likely. Any road, while I'm here, I was hoping you could do us a favour.
Mid. You can't just expect me to...
Please, oblige her. While we are busy tracking down Kupka, you should have a little time to spare.
Professor! Now there's a face I haven't seen in a while. Shouldn't you have it buried in a dusty old tome?
I did, till a familiar trill pricked my ears. As ever, your exuberance is a breath of fresh air, which successfully scattered the painstakingly assembled fragments of my thoughts.
Take that as a compliment.
I'll say, yeah, your company is appreciated, but your volume is a little much. That's what that meant.
So, I'll meet you in the storeroom when you're done.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, like a gust of wind, huh?
Breath of fresh air. Tempest, more like.
I like mid. I wonder what mid's short for. Let's find out. Medalladol. Student of engineering at the University of Canva. She is as well versed in the secrets of modern and fallen technology as any scholar in the Twins, and means to put that knowledge to use in service of the Hideaway. Yeah, because Vivian showed up for a second, it's like that's there. What is the Free Cities of Canva? Independent city-states located to the southeast of the Dalmekian Republic, was originally part of Dalmekia. The city achieved their independence in 857, hoping to step away from the Republic's internal struggles to focus instead on the cormorants upon which their prosperity has been built. Political power currently resides with a council of guildmasters, prominent Canvarian traders, and craftspeople. The lack of a dominant or a mother crystal to convert, along with its considerable financial resources, allows Canva to retain both its independence and neutrality in the face of considerable turmoil elsewhere. As such, it lacks a standing army, the defence of its walls having been relegated to a small yet well-trained city guard.
Oi, Otto, you got my guild? Huh? What are you on about? My fee for bringing Mid across. She said you were paying. That little...
And I like how Clive got the fuck out of there as well.
I wonder what Mid's plotting.
I'm 99% sure it's Sid's daughter.
Shouldn't you be getting some rest?
I love how sparky she is. I'd always adopt that kind of character trope. What are you up to?
You took your time.
I'm a busy man, Mid.
I'll get to the point then. I want to turn the room down there into a workshop like the one I had at Dad's place.
Mid, you've only just come back.
And I've been thinking about it for a while. Dad said I had a knack for engineering. Told me everything he knew about it. Then sent me off to Canva to learn everything he didn't. That was his dream for me. That one day I'd put my studies to use for the good of the cause. But I'm helping no one stuck at school. I've studied enough. It's time I put my knack to work. I know that I can help the people here, and I want to do it.
Well, well, well. If Sid could see you now. All right? I'll tell Otto you'll be staying.
I knew you'd say yes. Which is why I wrote up a list of jobs for you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who else?
You know, if Sid had Ramu as a dominant, if Mid ever becomes a dominant, it should be Ixion,
And materials to start.
the other electric
There's
summon.
the design to the stuff I need, and the stuff it needs smithing from. The other materials I can work myself. Just need a generous benefactor to lay them on for me. Apart from the wood, I'll need a carpenter for that, but I can just borrow yours.
Is that everything?
For now. I'll let you know if I need out else.
Alright, get to work.
Where to start? Materials and tools. That means Karen and Blackthorn.
Oh, yeah, because it's a thing. So this will go down and around to something else below us. Okay. I wonder what that will become. We gotta go see. Oh, I don't think it really mattered which way we went too much. I was gonna say, I think the other way might have been slightly quicker, but oh well. We gotta go see Sharon and Blackthorn. And hope that Blackthorn's not found something else that's mildly annoyed him.
The little ones have been
Also, although I'm streaming 30, so you guys probably won't be able to notice too much, I have finally caved in and put the game in performance mode over graphics mode. The only reason I put it in graphics mode is because 60 frames was inconsistent, and so it was annoying. But, although it's still kind of inconsistent, I messed with it a little bit, and it's really hard to go back to graphics mode afterwards, so we're playing in performance for now.
Was wondering where you'd got to.
Hey, Sharon.
It's back from Canva. Have you seen her?
Just now. She's planning to set up a workshop in the stores and ask me to buy her some materials. Here's the list. Think you can find everything on there?
This lot. Won't be much of a trader if I couldn't.
Excellent. As for payment,
It's paid. 100 times over by what that girl's done for us. If it weren't for her filters, we'd have naught to drink but blight water, and that would have drained the life out of us long ago.
indeed it would.
I'll send the stuff on to Mid when it comes in.
Thank you, Aaron.
How are you doing, Goat? Since we're tuning a while.
Wait to
Or
see
Goots.
what Mid's going to build us this time.
Aw. Hey, Blackthorn.
Blackthorn, you busy?
What does it look like?
I have a commission for you. From Mid. She requires certain tools. Do you think you can make them?
Bloody hell. What's she planning to build with this stuff? An airship? I'll see what I can do. Tell her I'll bring them over when I'm done. If I ever am.
My thanks. And Mid's, no doubt.
Such a like tragic name to get though. I know it's not her full name. It's like Medalladol, but still, Sidolphus. You could have named your kid something other than fucking Mid. Speak to Bardolph at the pier. Okay. Because people go, who's the most mid character in FF16? Like, come on, this poor girl. She's pretty got bullied so much. Do you think she got turned down once for a date, and the answer was, I would, but you're kind of mid.
Good oil in this. Should be enough to... How do, Master Sid?
Bardolph. Mid's looking to build a workshop in the storeroom, and she needs the aid of a skilled carpenter. So naturally I thought of you.
Well, I'd love to help the young miss however I can. But I'm afraid I got my hands full just keeping this place afloat. There's holes need patching, and if I don't patch them, will all of us sink into the mere. I'd gladly spare Mid all the time I have, but the sad truth is, I ain't got none.
I see.
It don't have to be me, though, does it? What about that other fella? You know, the one over at Martha's Rest. Bernard, was it?
That's right. And he is a friend of the cause. I'll ask Martha if she can spare him. Thank you, Bardolph.
Least I could do.
Alright, off to Martha's Rest. I think we've revisited Martha's Rest more often than like anywhere else. Oh, there's new shit in the oh, I didn't even realise. Hang on. There's new shit in the shop and new shit with Blackthorn. Hold on a second. Before we like, immediately just dart off. What are you selling?
Well, don't just stand there gawping.
What are you gonna say about Mid? Is irrepressible the word? That girl doesn't anything get her down, that's for certain.
Quite the opposite.
In fact, she's got a way of making every bugger else get up and dance to her tune.
Like father, like daughter.
Yeah, I'd say it ran in the blood if I didn't know any better. Can't wait to see what kind of queer contraption she comes up with next, so long as you don't try to rope me into building it for her.
If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it.
Oh, so we can probably make a better sword anyway, so... Increase gil earned, increase experience... Oh, okay. Increase ability earned in normal counts by 20% now, we're good. You know, I am actually going to buy these 2 elixirs. I'm just not going to equip them. We're going to keep them in the menu for, like, emergency situations, because you can bring up the pause menu whilst you're in fights. So that's like a last-ditch effort, last immersion.
Oh.
So we're not really using our money for much else, so you might as well. What about you, dude? What you got for us?
Got ya. Summer storm, that one.
Rolls in when you least expect it, soaking you in your skin and leaving you wringing your breeches. Just like our old man. Keeps us on our toes, though.
What do you want?
What do you want? The grindstone using the Levin bolt and the earth shard. So that's what we've already got for beating Hugo.
No scratches, right?
Oh damn, it looks nice. Let's out into the light. This is like our posing podium. We always just come out here to go into the light to check it. It looks like we're holding like an artifact instead of a sword, but it's cool. Alright, out into the world. And there's no side quests anywhere for us to be wary of, eh? Like, Martha's Rest basically the base away from the base, if how often we come back here. Yo.
Ah, Clive, what brings you to the Rest?
Our home finds itself in need of an extra carpenter. I wondered if I might be able to borrow Bernard for a short while.
I don't mind if he don't. We're all friends here, aren't we?
Thank you, Martha. Do you know where I might find him?
He went up to Cressida on business. No idea what, mind. Place is a ruin. Far as I know, he's still there.
I'll look for him there, then.
The ruins of Cressida. Where is that? Oh, we haven't been there yet. Alright. Good excuse as any. As soon as we can get like just far enough out of town that I can get Chocobo.
Come on.
Come on, Ambrosia. We don't need to fight any of these guys, so we can carry on. That sigh, did you hear that from Clive? Like, one enemy saw us, you just heard him go, like, fuck's sake. It's how everyone who's playing like a classic RPG feels when the encounter rate's too high. You just start sighing every time you encounter like another fucking goblin. Alright, what's going on over here?
Hi. If it ain't the lad who saved my life. What brings you to a place like this?
You do, Bernard. Martha said I might find you here. I have a proposition for you.
Oh, do you know?
Yeah, blah blah blah, mid's trying to build a workshop. We need a carpenter, you're in.
Building a workshop, you say? Well, that beats tacking boards to bridges, sure enough. And, if Martha didn't mind me being gone a while, then neither do I. You just tell me where you want me.
That's the spirit.
I couldn't ask a favor, though, could I? Before we go?
Of course.
Well, that there is Cressida, where I grew up. Ain't much left of it now, though. Except my parents' graves. But I came up here hoping to visit. I even patched up the bridge to get across. Only to find the place crawling with fiends. But you're a dab hand when it comes to dealing with beasts and bogles, ain't you? Any chance you could,
It's the least I can do.
Well, thank you kindly. And take care.
Yeah, sure, we'll clear it out so you can go check your parents' grave.
This shouldn't take long.
Oh, I can try and show Titanic block a little bit, because I did mess with it a little in arcade mode. Okay, that was... Oh, I'm just gonna get fucked up. But you know what? Another time, if enemies are a little easier to read. When it's like knights and shit, it's easy to just kind of see what they're going for. When it's like little scorpions kind of wiggling and spinning, it's a little harder.
Nice try. Farewell.
The idea though is that it's Royal Guard. If you ever played Devil May Cry, it's literally a Royal Guard. Oh, I did that way too late, so that was just a guard. Come on. No, way too late. Way too early even, sorry. There we go. And you immediately like give out the power when you do it. Oh, another wave, Jesus. Oh, why did you lock onto that?
To me, boy. Waken wins.
Oh. Come on. Oh, that was ranged. It fucked me up. Whoa. That's going to do a lot. Gotcha. That's what I mean. It's fucking sick when you catch it. That was a parry. There's a fence in the way. Okay, no, we went through it. I was a little worried for a second. I was like, that fence is in the way. Is it going to like interrupt our attack? Da 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 da. Ooh.
That should do it.
You made short work of that lot. Thank you, son. Now my folks can rest in peace once more.
How long is it since the village was abandoned?
Oh, people started packing their things after the duchy fell. Between the Blight and the Imperials, you just couldn't make ends meet. Must be nigh on a decade since the last wagon left. Though it may as well have been a century, looking at the place. This isn't the Cressida I remember.
I'm sorry.
Ah, don't be. Can't live in the past, no matter how nice it might have been. Soon as I'm done saying a prayer for those that raised me, it's onto your hideaway.
I'm still going to poke around a little, Bernard, if that's alright. Not to, like, disrespect this sacred ground or anything, but there may be a couple treasure chests around I might want to check out.
That should take care of Mid's little list. Better head back before she thinks of anything else.
Okay, that's not quicker at all. I was like, can I just, like, dash my way over there? No, there's a cooldown. I'm guessing this way's up to the graveyard, then. Oh, hey! Spores of steel skin. What's back here, anyway? This looks like an arena. This looks like at some point there's going to be a hunt and it will say somewhere near Cressidia or whatever, and it's going to be here. This absolutely looks like an arena. Come on. Alright, we'll be back when some magical beast or dragon is here. But I think we're completely good to just head home, right? There's nothing else. See what Mid's up to. Wait, what route it would be quicker? From here, I don't think it matters. I think from there, getting to like the shops and whatnot, I should be taking the upper path. The only reason why I'm like debating it is because there's no quick travel within the hideaway, so you just got to take a light jog everywhere. And it's like, if you're going to make the hideaway this big, you don't need to put them everywhere, but like, have like a warp to the chambers, for example. Have a warp to the chambers. And a warp like here then, since you have to go all the way around. Or like here then. But no, every time you warp in, you're there and that's it.
Shouldn't you be getting some rest?
Alright, Clive? You've all done then?
I am. I've placed your various orders, and a carpenter by the name of Bernard is on his way from Arthur's Rest.
That's brilliant! Thanks, Clive.
Is there anything else you need?
The hesitancy. The hesitancy in that one. He's like, he knew like if this could be dangerous, asking if she wanted more.
Get to work. I can't wait.
Damn, there's a lot of renown. Reduces wind-up cooldown time by 3 seconds.
That's my good deed for the day done.
Oh, we got some side quests.
Jill's Ferry.
That's still not the menu I'm looking for. What's wind up? Oh, it's charge up the fist strike. Okay. But we've got a side quest. We got 2 side quests. The weight of command. Is there anything else in the overworld quest-wise? Oh, we can check the hunt board. See if I'm right. I imagine the cutscene will start the second we go in, so that side quest will have to wait a sec. Let's go see the hunt board, see if there's anything new. Let's see if one's magically appeared in was it Cassida? Muddy murder. Rumours spreading throughout the southern reaches of Rosaria, and a pool of opalescent ooze that's been sighted in moors and meadows of the region. Where it resembles naught but the puddle of strange sludge from a distance, any man or beast that draws too close is met with masses of slimy hands that drag their prey into the gaping, grimming maw. Is this what we want for our children? Hawks Cry Cliff, Rosaria. Alright, I've taken every time we get a new hunt, I need to get into a habit of taking a screenshot of it so we can go back to the list rather than to come all the way back here to read it again.
Do you have a moment, Sid? A team of curse breakers has gone missing near
Oh shit, yeah, okay, yeah, we can detour for that.
Coals. They were sent to liberate a carriage of bearers before they could be smuggled to market. They were moving in for their assault when the carriage was attacked by goblins.
Oh.
The Cursebreaker managed to release a Stolus amid the confusion, but... this was days ago. They should be back by now, but I've heard nothing from any of them. I can't help but worry that...
They know the work is dangerous. But I'm sure they're fine.
But what if I've got them all killed? Before they go out, I always remind them why we're doing this, what they escaped, and what we're freeing people from. But I never really thought how my words might affect them. What risks they might take because of the things I've said.
I'll go and find them. We'll both rest easier knowing they're safe.
Thank you, Sid. And I'm sorry to trouble you with this.
There's no trouble at all. Let's go find them.
Intercept the slaver somewhere in the Dragon's Eyrie. I can't tell you much more than that, I'm afraid.
No worries.
Should be enough to go on. If they were there, Torgal will track them down.
Speaking of Torgal, we still haven't figured out what's going on with him. I mean, there's a hint. There's a hint, and I kind of called it. If you go to... Is it Attributes? The Blood of Fenrir. So he is Fenrir, or has got part of Fenrir in him. Oh, that's where the quest is. Let me check my screenshot. It was Hawk's Cliff, wasn't it? Hawk's Cry Cliff. So it's here somewhere. The hunt. Let's have a look around. Look for the swampy bit in the area, or look for a swampy bit in the area.
Come on. Run like the wind.
We'll poke around until something obvious shows its face.
All right.
Come on, bros, you don't get stuck. Okay, no, that's not what we're looking for. Alright, back at it.
Time to fight.
Is that it? Or is that just a really weird looking tree? It's just a weird looking bundle of trees. Okay, never mind. Can you blame me though? Like, come on. Let's go further north for a sec. Oh, this looks kind of arena-y, maybe.
Straight home now.
Yes. Yes. Flan Prince. It's rank A. Uh-oh.
Take us unawares, did you?
Oh fuck! Your attack was still ongoing. I had enough time to accidentally like click too many times and still cycle all the way back around to it. Damn, this thing actually hits kind of hard. It's level 38, so I'm not really surprised. Ow. Nice. Sometimes you just gotta be bold, so you just gotta go for this kind of mad shit. Dual cast? Uh-oh. Yeah, it just did tornadoes and stonegers. Ow, okay, you just literally just punched me. Okay, I did that miserably timed. Fuck! I'm getting bullied by this thing. The only saving grace is that that's pretty easy to time when it does the big wind up. Oh, I think that would have been too late anyway, so that worked out. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. I'm trying to get out of there. Yeah, it's an A rank, alright. We're gonna commit to it. Oh, has it put us way back up here? Of course it has. At least, like, once you've got it once, it tells you where it is. Let's go back to it. Alright, let's run it back. So when it does, like, the happy slaps, I didn't realise, because I perfect guarded the first one and went straight for the counter, and then ate shit because it whacked me the second one immediately. Which is why, like, I, like, retreated out of that counter so soon afterwards, because I was like, I realised I was actually in trouble. That counter wasn't the freebie I really wanted it to be. Alright, let's try this bitch again. But this time, like, better. Hey.
There's no turning back.
Oh, okay, I just...
There's a good boy.
Gotcha. Oh, that's got nowhere near as much range as I thought it would. I think I catch a stray every time I do that, though. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every time I block, like, the spinny attack, I think I'm catching a stray in between. Oh, I was on the wrong thing. I thought I was on Titanic. That was my bad. Yeah, I don't really fancy you doing more dual casts, please, so stop that. I do catch a stray. Okay, I was paying attention to my health that time. I catch a stray in between. I need to just go all the way around, not fucking around that. Yes. Fuck! I dodged out the way of one thing into another. Oh, hey! There we go. Jesus. It's weird, when we weren't fucking around, it was a lot easier, but it's still a bit of a... Oh, Jesus, how many levels? We leveled up twice? Hell yeah. I mean, it was way higher than us, so that's cool. Oh, and that was for something, so we can... That's a new craft.
It's dead now. Whatever it was.
And we're still with potions to spare. Yeah, that one went way better. You just have to wake up a little first sometimes. Whoops. Whereabouts in Northreach are we going? No, I can see why the game said to go here. I think this is ever so slightly closer.
Slavers don't even bother.
Let's go. Run like the wind.
Alright, let's do things that are, you know, easier for us to deal with. Alright, there are people here at least. What's going on?
Cole, I'm glad you're in one piece.
Just about. Sid, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here?
Doris sent me to find you. She hasn't heard anything since the attack. She's been worried about you.
I sent a runner to the Dame in Northreach. The hideaway should have learned of our survival yesterday.
Well, I'm here now. And it looks like you freed the bearers.
Only some. The rest locked themselves in the slavers' carriage rather than fleeing when they had the chance. I want to help them, Sid. But we're barely in any state to protect those few we did save.
You made the right decision. Now where's the carriage?
The goblins may still be out there.
You have duties to attend to here. See to the injured. I'll handle the rest.
All right. Just follow the path to the south. You'll come across the carriage soon enough. And please, hurry. If the beastmen get to those bearers, the poor souls will be eaten alive.
I won't let that happen.
Nah.
And Sid.
Broody
It's good to see
Clive is on it. We're
Don't
fine.
blame me just yet.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, it is the whole usual brigade.
Try to get into the carriage.
Oh, I was hoping the warp would get me out of the range. I barely didn't, damn it. Almost every time I get hit in this game is because I want to do something cocky. And I just eat shit for it. Every single time. See, that swing is way faster than you weren't expecting it to be. I would have missed it again there, I think. I'm trying to get the block on it. But the swing comes out way fucking quicker. I'd rather just go for the dodge. 7.
Titan! Over here!
Nice. This Berserker ring still coming in clutch. I think eventually I'll swap off the Berserker ring, just so we can get like normal counter attacks back, but for now... Awesome. What a cool way to finish the enemies. Just fucking whack the ground.
Who are you?
But the Berserker ring also gives you like a free combo and makes parrying very easy, so...
Are there any more survivors? Why didn't you flee with the others? If the goblins had made it through that door, you wouldn't have stood a chance.
Why should we run? One miserable death's no worse than another.
Perhaps. But we're here to give you another choice. Freedom, safety, the life you've been denied. Come with us. Let us protect you.
Sid, I couldn't just let you... You weren't too late then. Thank the gods.
This man risked his life to save yours. To give you a second chance.
Fine. Do with us what you will.
What we'll do with you is take you to safety. After that, it's up to you. Your lives are your own now.
You can leave the rest to us, Sid. We'll get everyone back to the hideaway.
Thank you. I'll let Doris know we're expecting new arrivals.
Awesome. Go report back, right? Yeah, report to Doris. Yeah, and the other side quest we haven't picked up yet. That's why it's got the 2 markers. Because it's beyond beyond checking on Jill. It's literally in the infirmary. Like, it's like, check on Jill, the quest. And also we'll circle around to Blackthorn as well. Because that gelatin thing was for something.
Sid.
I don't know if we'll be able to make it yet, but I know it was for something.
A stolus from the Dame arrived not long after you left. If I'd just waited a little longer, I might have been able to deal with things myself. Or maybe I wouldn't.
Oh, don't doubt yourself, Doris. You had right to be concerned.
Cole and the others got home safely. You made exactly the right decision.
No, I was lucky. I've been tracking that slaver for months, and then I sent Cole and you after them woefully unprepared. What kind of leader sends people into danger without considering all the risks? I should have urged greater caution, told Cole to be wary, to pull back at the first sign of trouble.
We swore the same oath as you, Doris.
It's good to see you safe and well, Cole. I'm sorry.
With all due respect, we Cursebreakers don't risk our lives because you commanded of us. We risk them because we believe in our cause. No one with doubts ever joins our ranks. The agony of removing the brand more than sees to that.
We all know how much bravery that takes.
Cole, I never doubted your courage. Only my ability to see it put to good use. Thank you for your faith in me. I'm not sure I deserve it. I sometimes wonder if I might prefer to risk death alongside the others than ask it of them. But I'm a Cursebreaker. I swore an oath too. I have a role to play, and I must trust that I'm the right one to play it.
You will. In time.
The weight of command. Oh Jeez, our renown's above 300 now. That must be getting us better stuff, right? Come on. Right? Oh, there's a gold dot. I'm hopeful.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back.
Only just, Jesus. Dire Wolf Jazz.
All yours.
And 350 for the next upgrade.
I may have more for ya.
What is the Dire Wolf Jazz? Increased combo damage. So, because this is the one that I might swap off eventually, but we'll see. But that combo damage, yeah, that's not bad at all. That's what ability points looking. Oh, we're still a little off. We could put the accessory that gives us more, but I'm in no rush. I'd rather kind of vibe with the points we have. There is a trophy for maxing out the entire ability tree. But that you'll get eventually in time anyway through like multiple playthroughs and whatnot, since I will be playing more of this game in my spare time, obviously. Like, once the game's done, I'll probably do my second playthrough.
What do you need? What do you want?
We need a Scarletite. Oh, I wish you could, like, check from here. But considering we don't have the Electrum either, and that's also separate from a hunt according to the game, I think we just gotta wait on that one.
That it? Fine.
Oh, something I did do off screen, and I can show, because I was messing around with like arcade modes and whatnot. I think it'd be in key items. Or in treasures. Medal of Valor, Midnight Raven. I managed to beat... Let me show you. The first level, the Great Wood, no damage. Well, you don't have to beat the whole level no damage, you just have to beat the major boss at the end, which for this one was the Knight at the end. And you get a treasure on it that, like, highlights that you managed to do that, which I think is pretty cool. You also get a trophy for beating a boss no damage, so I had to do it eventually, so I'm glad I knocked it out now. There's also a trophy relating to Garuda, which is like the only one I'm missing so far in terms of like the element-based ones, which is to use all 3 skills in the air twice in a fight. So I need to like max out one so I could equip it on a different slot, which is why I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it in my spare time.
Ah, Clive.
Talia, how's Jill?
Recovering, but she still needs her rest.
Of course. Take good care of her, won't you?
I'll do my best. Oh, Gav was looking for you. He said he had something
Of course
to
he
show you
was.
in the shelves.
Our boyfriend was looking for us.
Oh, that's right. He went to ask Hippocrates about Togo. He must have found something.
But hey, okay, since it wasn't a major thing, we can just pick up this side quest.
You have the look of a man with the twins upon his shoulders, Rodrigue.
Talia has tasked me with removing a Cursebreaker's brand. But
oh.
It's my first time, and I don't think I can do it. I'm afraid of what happens if I fail. You survived, I know, but there as many die as recover. Is it really worth the risk?
You don't need me to answer that. You know full well what we're fighting for. I hope as much as you that one day bearers can walk among others as equals. But until that day, a brand is a burden, and we must lift that burden in order to go undetected. The operation may be dangerous, but it's also essential, and we undergo it willingly.
I know. I still wish there was some other way. But griping about my lot helps no one, I suppose. Don't worry. I'll do what must be done.
I know you will.
Unfortunately, the first thing that needs doing is the preparation of a draft to dull the pain. Something I can't do with the infirmary's ammonia supply so low. What few leaves we have would barely be enough for removing a splinter, let alone a brand.
Just tell me what you need.
You'll go? Oh, thank you. No one knows Herblord like Taya, and she swears by ammonia for easing pain. It's simple enough to find, if you know where to look. And fortunately for you, I do.
Is that supposed to be harmonia, or is that just like an accent thing kicking in, or is it actually called ammonia?
For the bright blue blossoms.
Because there's a few things like that where they just kind of, the subtitles embrace accents a little bit. Gather ammonia near amber. Oh, back over to Horse Cry Cliff, are we, huh? That button. Oh, it's right there, okay. I think we can just, yeah, I think we can just duck in.
Now for those herbs.
Damn it! I was trying to pay attention to everything at once to try and get a good Rook's Gambit, but no luck. Also, if you do that in the air, upheaval, you don't get the charge up, you just slam down with it. Ow, fucker. Some more white passes by, thank you. Oh, you got a hold. Right. I literally just tapped it as I went past.
With blue flowers. I hope it's the right one. Should be enough to keep the infirmary stocked for a while. Hopefully this will put Rodriguez's mind at ease.
What's this here? Oh. I was like, yeah, save me having to buy a new one. So turn this in. And I guess, since, like, you know, it's right there, we'll circle past the shop and, like, stock up on our potions and strength. So it's just the elixir, like, so I'm not going to spend the elixirs, I'm saving them for emergencies. But when you're in fights, if you bring up this, you can still go along to the item menu and use things from here. That could be quite nice, actually, the Lionheart tonic in a pinch, but for now.
I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding the ammonia.
They're just some raptors.
Only the usual.
Oh, yes. This is it. And more than I was expecting. I dare say the patient won't feel a thing. That is, unless I...
You'll do fine. Taya trusts you. Which means I trust you.
Careful, Clive, you'll put more pressure on than you realise.
Without skilled physicers like yourself.
Thank you for the kind words. Truly. I'm sorry. I'm still terrified. The brand is more than just ink on flesh. It's a death sentence. Milk of the wyvern tail lurking just below the surface of the skin. One ill-conceived incision, a single slip, and the poison fouls the patient's blood. Failure means death, and even success means tremendous pain. Days of agony as the wound heals. I became a physiker to help people, not to kill them. I don't want to kill anyone.
Cursebreakers lead hard lives. And the operation is only the beginning. They toil in the shadows, risking life and limb, knowing their efforts will win them neither glory nor acclaim. And yet we never won for volunteers. Why do you think that is?
Conviction? They're willing to die?
They're willing to fight. To give their lives to create a world where people like us can be more than mere possessions. I know your work isn't easy, but neither is going under the knife. Be a shoulder for your patients to lean on. Stay strong for them.
You sound like Tyre. Do you know what she once told me? It's natural for a patient to feel like they're suffering in solitude. And it's a physicist's duty to see that they don't. Thank you for helping me remember that. I won't falter. Not again.
God, look at our wealth. Come on. 80k 978. Jesus Christ. Although not as bad as like Rise of 3, the economy is in shambles in this game. The only thing that actually costs you like an arm and a leg outside of like the collectibles, the music stuff, is elixirs. And even then, it's 10k a pop, so we can still theoretically buy 8 of them. I wonder if mega elixirs are in this game. I doubt it because there's no real parties. Mega elixirs are elixir to your whole party wide, but it's the same reason why there aren't really any Phoenix Downs, because you're only on your own. So if you go down, it's over. I say that they could reincorporate Phoenix Downs as sort of like a second chance mechanic, where like if you die, it's auto used or something. That's something maybe like if it's not in this game, if they decide to go down this route for like 17, for example, they could do.
Clive, where have you been? I've been wanting to ask you something about Torgal. Where did you get him, like, in the first place?
My father brought him back from one of his expeditions into the Northern Territories. They were crossing a snowfield when they heard his cries, and, seeing no sign of his pack, they took him in.
What do you reckon, Tomes?
It certainly adds weight to the theory. Clive, I believe that Torgal may be no mere hound, but a rare frostwolf, an animal native to the far northern reaches of Valisthea. In one of our oldest bestiaries, I found reference to a frostwolf who served as guardian to an ancient queen of the north. Such was his mastery over ether, he could cast magics on command. His name was Fenrir.
Fenrir the Frostwolf.
Now, the annals do not state it explicitly, but I have reason to believe this queen was a dominant of Shiva, a girl from the Northern Territories and her faithful hound. One awakens as the dominant of Shiva, and the other?
You're saying that Jill granted Torgal his powers?
What?
Just like Fenrir. People called him my hound, but Torgal and Jill were inseparable. He grew up as a faithful companion to the dominant of Shiva, and years later, his powers awakened, just when his master needed him the most.
You're right. If it weren't for Torgal blasting those bastards to Kingdom Come, Jill would have been for it.
Quite. Though Torgal's power is his own, his latent birthright as a frostwolf, it had only to be unlocked.
Oh, get you, Torgal!
You're an even finer hound than we thought.
And regarding your original concern, you need not fear for Torgal's health. Why, the beast has the appetite of a behemoth. Just this very morn, I found him with his nose buried in my nuts.
I know you mean nuts as in, like,
There you are!
the food,
I've been looking
but at the same time... oh, wording, phrasing there.
I shall be a moment.
sometime later, Mid's little shack of goodies opened. I wonder if it's going to be its own shop, and if it is, what she sells.
Isn't it brilliant?
It is.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. You and everyone else. But I promise I'll pay you back. I'm gonna work my fingers to the bone for you lot, starting right now. Just you wait. I'll make wonders like this world's never seen.
Then I look forward to seeing them.
Right, let's see. Is it her own shop, or is it just like a little thing down here?
Tracking down Kupka.
Thanks for letting me do this, Clive. I'll pay you back, I promise.
Or is it just like her little shack area? Okay, maybe it'll open momentarily just to get stuff.
We have everything we need to begin work in earnest.
Thanks for before, son. That was a good deed you did me. Only right I do you one in return.
Mid's dungeon. Oh Jesus. Dungeoneering. Oh Jesus.
I think I'll wait till...
Real curious what that's going to be about then. Alright, let's go see how Vivian's doing. See if Vivian can give us more clues to the whereabouts of Handless Hugo. That's his name from this point onwards.
How goes the hunt for Kupka?
Largely in circles. We have myriad sightings of strange soldiers in unexpected places, but nothing definitive as yet. If only we knew for certain by what route he left Rosalith.
Well, keep at it. If anyone can piece this puzzle together, it's you. And I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
Well, maybe sometime today, though.
What? Here?
Would that be a problem?
Do you know, Clive, I believe it a mercy that you didn't inherit your father's throne. Your poor people would surely live in fear of you.
You have nothing to worry about on that front. I won't be claiming his crown.
That is a relief.
Clive, have you got a minute? We, have a guest.
A guest?
That's worrying. Who? Why was it said like that? We have a guest. Who's here?
For your trouble.
Oh, Uncle Byron.
In hindsight. Uncle Byron?
Uncle Byron.
Brave, my boy.
Yes.
And stoke the ovens for your favourite uncle is here.
Oh. Meanwhile, is this in Waloed? Twinside, the Holy Empire of Sambrek. Seat of the Imperial Court.
The Dalmekian government sues
Audience
for
chamber.
peace.
Oh, this is
How should
Dion.
we respond?
Yeah, but Bahamut.
If they're willing to accept their fault in the matter, I see no reason to refuse them.
Still, we must insist on substantial reparations. The Twinside stores are not as bottomless as reported.
Aye, and we have many more mouths to feed. We shall just have to have the Dalmecs empty their treasuries for us.
Of course, none of this would have been possible without your timely intervention, Prince Olivier.
Indeed, I doubt any of us would have had the courage to trade words with the mighty Titan, nor less the wit to win him over.
The Empire owes you a...
Oh, so she spun a tale. She's trying to make, like, Olivier to be out like the perfect prince sort of thing, when he's done fuck all. Got it. Of course, the old Duchess is up to her old bullshit.
Very good.
Now, let us come to the question of precisely when the Dalmex will withdraw their troops.
Dion's fire could rid us of them in mere moments. The men of the Fist will not withdraw until a peace treaty is concluded. So let us keep the negotiations open, give them time to gather what gold and trinkets they can, and once they deliver that which we demand, what worth is a piece of parchment?
Your Radiance, were Prince Dion to take the field, the enemy would surely send their own dominant to meet him. And while His Highness would of course prevail, there would be heavy losses on both.
You need not fear Hugo Kupka.
I'll say Emperor Sylvester's not going to give a shit. Also, hey, one man, hope you're doing well. On the final actor. Ooh, you might actually just be finished your first playthrough in time for Ali Marie.
Clash between Bahamut and Titan. It is not to be.
And what of your subjects, your Radiance? If the fighting spread to the city proper, the people would bear the brunt of it.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
Literally everyone, well, except Annabelle, because she's a prick anyway.
Yes.
Literally everyone has a problem with Emperor Sylvester and his ways, including his own fucking son. Come on. Oh yeah, you smell nice, Emperor. Jesus. I'm trying to look at that tapestry in the background. It looks so cool.
Prepare for battle.
But sire...
Do not make me repeat myself. Return to your camp and await my orders.
If that is your wish, your Radiance, I shall depart at once.
Dion does not fucking like that her at all. He does not like the evil stepmother. Not that I blame him. One more day, I'm doing alright. Don't rush, still enjoy it.
Breaker, forgive you.
Yeah, Dion doesn't approve of any of this shit. I think Dion
Astrologers all go.
The stars are in agreement, your Radiance.
Oh, I was gonna say I think Dion's gonna end up being on our side. I'm really getting that impression. Like Dion's gonna come over to our side eventually because he doesn't agree with all this shit that he works for.
You disappoint me, Dion.
Meanwhile, her bitchisness is still trying to lay the seed to try and make it so whatever this kid will probably end up taking the throne instead, so she can have that power. Because it's all a power game for her. Anyway, let's go catch up with characters we like. Let's go see how Uncle Byron's doing. Let's go see this loudmouth.
The little ones have been up to their old business.
But I can't shake that feeling. I think Dion's going to be on our side ultimately.
Around here.
Which, to be fair, he's the dominant of Bahamut. Don't know about you guys, but having the King of Dragons on our side would be pretty fucking sick. just throwing it out there. But we'll have to see, we'll have to see. Hey, Uncle Byron.
Ah, my dear nephew. How I've missed you.
How did you find this place, Uncle?
Through the good offices of young Sir Wade. He really is the most helpful fellow. As are you, I hear. The Guardians and those they freed tell the most outlandish tales of your heroics in Rosalith. Which is why I came, to learn the full truth of the matter. Sort the fact from the fiction.
Yeah, but one man, you say that from a place of bias that you really don't like 7 Remake. As someone who really does, like, I haven't finished this game, but yeah, as a whole, this game feels more fully realized than 7 Remake. I'll give it that. Like, it feels like everything they wanted to do, they got to do in one shot. If that makes sense, instead of having to split things up. I don't know.
There are 2,000 gold talents in those chests. See that they're added to my nephew's coffers, would you?
I will say, however, though, Remake Part 2 coming out in less than 9 months, there is a lot of pressure that's been put suddenly on that game because of this. You know, obviously, like, they're doing different things, and they're doing different directions, and they're handling themselves differently, so you can handle them, like, differently in that sort of sense. But in terms of a legacy franchise, there is a lot of pressure for Remake Part 2 to keep up now, you know? Because of this game. Because even ignoring, like, even if you put, like, you know, the levels to one side, you put the music to one side, you put, like, if you, like, strip apart so many fucking parts of Final Fantasy 16, this game still dominates solely because of those fucking boss fights. You know? Like, so this game has some of the most insane and most jaw-dropping boss fights I've ever experienced in a video game since Metal Gear Rising. Which tracks because guess what team was also involved in this game's development? That's right, Platinum Games. The MGR team was involved in this game. For fuck's sake, you know? The reason why I say it's like the Avengers of video gamers came together to make this fucking thing is because they literally kind of did.
So can the same be said of your visitors from Waloed? Certainly her Royal Navy is famed for the efficiency with which it bears her knights from one battlefield to the next. And in the Einherjar, or Black Galleon, she boasts a vessel nigh as swift, and every bit as fierce.
And I think as well with this game is that it proves itself so insanely quickly, mostly off of those boss fights, why it's a PS5 exclusive. The fact that this game sometimes struggles to maintain its frame rate when everything's kicking off, and it's PS5 exclusive, makes me go, man, imagine if this was on PS4. Imagine if it tried to get it to work on PS4, it sounds like that'd be a menace.
Had you a vested interest in Titan's survival, whither would you take him? Why, home to Drake's Fang, a place rich enough in ether to conjure the magics needed to mend his hurts. But would that not entail an arduous voyage around the southern cape? Let us say that the royalists did put ashore with a mind to spirit Kupka away from under your very nose. Could that truly have been their plan for him? To load him aboard one of the ships flying Republican colors sighted off the coast near Port Isolde. To spend weeks at sea, being tossed hither and yon by unforgiving waves, his life hanging in the balance. No. The journey would mean Titan's death, and Kupka's faithful creatures would not allow it. So what then was the plan of our Waluda friends? Reports suggest they made not for the coast, but for the desert.
I think if Waloed hold Titan, we might have to go fight Barnabas soon. We might have to go fight Odin soon. We might have to fight Odin solely to get to Titan, to get our mark, to get our revenge. Which is a problem, because Odin will eviscerate us.
Stake your life on it.
At least that's my theory on the state of the realms.
So it was the Waluders who spirited the wretch away. Now I think about it, there was something.
This game also, in like 5 or 6 years' time, is going to put insane pressure on the inevitable Final Fantasy 17 to keep up. And I hope they don't collapse to it the way we got in the 90s, where Final Fantasy 8 just kind of got brushed by the wayside at first because it wasn't 7. I really hope not. I want them to actually do the same thing they did when it came to Final Fantasy VIII, but just hopefully it be appreciated better. Because what 8 did back in the day, after 7 fucking exploded and was like one of the most beloved games ever made, unquestioned, what did they do with 8? Instead of trying to top it, no, they took it a completely different direction. Instead of trying to make it more of what people wanted, they deliberately went a different direction to try and make it something you might not have realised you wanted. Took a risk. I'd want them to do it again if they do that again if they made a 17.
Give me a moment to make ready.
Or if and when 17 comes around in like half a decade minimum.
And where we're going.
Very well.
Yeah, I'd also be curious to know who's involved in it.
Time waits for no man.
Because this was like the Avengers of video games in terms of its developers. And I know you say don't associate it, but I mean it as in like people know what I'm talking about when I say that. Because it was, you know, the Platinum Games team was involved in this, Metal Gear Rising. The Kingdom Hearts team was involved in this. The Final Fantasy XIV team led its development. You know, like, the lead composer is Soken. Like, there's so many people involved in this project that are genuinely, like, the lead fucking combat director of Devil May Cry 5 was involved in this fucking game. You know, like, there's such a, like, the highest class of developers in like across Japan was involved in this game one way or another. That's like a once in a lifetime situation to get all of those names and all of those teams together to make one game. So 17 also has an absurdly high bar because of all the people involved in this game to try and find its footing with. Which is why I'd rather 17, whenever that comes around, instead just go a different direction. Instead just do something completely out of left field and make us go, wait, what? And just make people go question and do things differently from what the hell they could ever expect.
We met under curious circumstances.
I think it is fair to say. It was during my time at the university. I had returned to my lecture hall to collect some notes, and discovered Mid crouched under the lectern, sketching some designs or other by candlelight. It transpired that she had fashioned a key, and had been using my classroom as her own secret study. A place of quiet refuge from overzealous tutors and the like.
Naturally.
I insisted she leave, but Mid being Mid, she refused to take no for an answer, and before I knew it, I had not only allowed her to continue her late-night studies, but had agreed to take her on as a pupil into the bargain. Though I soon wished I hadn't, her refusal to defer to authority was no less evident in my lectures. Was this my reward for years of painstaking study, I wondered? To be teased and tormented by some oil-stained stripling who seemed to delight in my discomfort? Still, our time together was not entirely disagreeable. Not less because it was she who unearthed the plot against my life, and encouraged you to come and whisk me away to safety. And so I came to take refuge in your base of operations, just as she once did in mine. Mid's cool. I mean, it was going to be obvious that Mid was going to be cool the moment it was, like, given away that it's Sid's daughter. Like, it's like, because, you know, Sid's fucking rules, so of course, as soon as it's Sid's daughter, it's like, yeah, of course she's going to be cool. She's a complete spark plug, but that's besides the point. Like, she's got, like, infinite energy, but she's still cool. Anyway, about Uncle Byron.
Lord Byron Rothfield.
Of the 7 high houses. Protector of Port Isolde. And your uncle, no less.
I heard tell.
He was an adventurous soul, and journeying alone to the secret lair of the villainous Sid the Outlaw would certainly seem to give truth to such rumours. Yeah, but she's Mid. I said that when she was introduced. I was like, this poor kid was probably bullied a lot, because her full name is like Midadol, but everyone just called her Mid. Her name is Midadol, in the same way Sid's name is Sidolphus, but it's just the nickname. So it's just like, man, that's a real unfortunate nickname. Like, it's like, how many times did she go to ask someone out in life just to respond with, I would, sorry, but you're kind of Mid. Like, come on. I heard tell that he was an adventurous. Actually, does it say here? Oh, because we're not talking about her, so it's not showing up, never mind. And journeying alone to the secret lair of the villainous Sid the Outlaw would certainly seem to give truth to such rumours. He will make a valuable ally, and a generous one, I hope. And his connections among the nobility will surely prove useful. Why, perhaps we will soon be inviting the heads of the remaining high houses to the grand soiree here in the hideaway. Oh, I must practice my steps.
Your nemesis awaits, Clive. You have merely to cross a burning desert, then worm your way into the bowels of an enemy fortress. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, Viv. And Mid's made... The fact that it's like Mid's dungeon still scares me. It's like, why does she want to... Why has she built a fucking dungeon? It hasn't opened up properly yet. It's just she's working on it, but still. It's like, what kind of fucking dungeon are we talking about? Where is Otto? Oh, I went straight fucking past him. Whoops. I don't know why I expected Otto to be anywhere else. He's always bloody here. So we know that Kupka has been taken south through the desert. So that's probably where we're going next.
Otto, Kupka's at Drake's Fang. I'll be leaving before sunset.
You're not going in there alone, are you?
Hey, Gav.
Don't worry. I'm not going there to destroy the Mother Crystal.
Yet.
All I'm after is Kupka's head. I won't risk any more than I have to. I promise.
The Lancer and the Fang.
Yeah, because we've only just destroyed the last crystal. If we immediately go after the next one, the guard will be raised so astronomically because people are scared of losing the origin of all their power that it will just cause all sorts of turmoil. So going for the crystal will be a fool's errand and a suicidal one at that.
All I know is the name, and that they used to meet.
I would associate with Sid, Darley Mill in.
Since he died. But I'm thinking maybe the new Sid.
Very so dang fun. I'm glad.
To bring her back into the fold.
Hearing some of the rumblings going on with like some of the localization, some of the fan books based around it, and the back and forth there was worrying that it would kind of detract from it. So I'm kind of glad that it isn't.
Don't look so worried.
Like that it would just detract attention from what should just be a really fun game. But so far, from what I've heard, most people are really loving it. So thankfully that ended up not being the case. It does make me slightly more nervous because NIS America also is doing the localization for Cry Machina, and I'm actually looking forward to that game. And I'm like, oh, please don't fuck around with that localization too. Please just do it blunt. I mean, it'd be my goat, but I never understood the extent of how fun it is. That's kind of how I'm feeling with this game, to be fair. So I kind of relate. I expected myself to really enjoy 16, but I wasn't expecting it to be this fucking like bafflingly good. It's like, it's almost like and it is probably a gripe, like a criticism you could actually make for this game, that this game's boss fights completely overshadow literally everything else in this game. But I think if one thing's gonna overshadow other content within its own medium, boss fights is one of the ones I can kind of get away with it a little. Ever be nominated? Yeah, I hope so. I mean, if games that didn't come out in 2022 got nominated for the 2022 awards, a game that got released only in the West this year should still count. You know? If Genshin, which came out in 2020, could win an award in 2022, there's no reason to exclude Reverie from anything, so it should be there. At least in my humble opinion.
All right, Uncle. I'm ready to depart.
Oh, we're going to go dungeon crawling with Uncle?
We shall.
Oh, yes. A whole quest with Byron, that's going to be sick. That's how the reviewers love the game. Yeah, the fact that the game's literally getting 10 out of 10s. Like, I think it was getting 10s and 9s, like, on average. There's a couple, like, 8, 7s and what the rest, because there always is. But, you know what I mean? Like, the general average was, like, 9s and 10s. That's the sort of shit that will get it popping up in award shows. Obviously, that's not the only thing that tends to get things in award shows, unfortunately. Especially the Game Awards. The Game Awards feels almost entirely dictated by game sales sometimes, but that is what it is. We can make our own mini award ceremony at the end of the year, like I did last year. I say that, I haven't actually played, outside of like Atelier stuff, that many games that didn't come out this year. Like outside of like Axiom Verge we played in like January, and Caligula Effect 1 we played in like February. There hasn't been that many games since before 2023 that I've actually played this year. So I will do my like top 5 games I've played this year that didn't come out this year, and my top 5 games that came out this year again. Once again, that only counts games I've played, so I'll try and play as much as I can as things go on to count them. If not, there's always a chance it'll show up on later lists when I eventually get to it. Like, if I end up not playing Reverie till next year, that's okay, because it can just end up on, like, the other list, so to speak.
There's an old trading post not far from here. The road to Drake's Fang leads through it.
The trading post it is.
Alright, Uncle Byron, let's go. I want to go explore this new land. It's been a while since we've had a new area to just go explore. Riddle of the Sands. Oh, God. Oh, gee, look at all these names. This actually goes out far then. It's like I'm in bloody Sumeru and Genshin again. Oh god. The Valkyrie Desert.
Dune, beyond the ruins. Mark them well, Clive. It's all too easy to lose one's bearings in the sands.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, you're targeting Byron, okay. I was getting ready to try and Royal Guard it. I mean, Titanic block it. Because, yeah, we have Royal Guard, we have this. Which literally does Royal Guard. You hit it on the timing, you get a perfect counter, and you can parry and riposte.
Years ago, when you were just a boy, you and I rode this way together, accompanying your father on a scouting expedition to Drake's Bay.
He let me come with you.
I'm not surprised you don't remember.
The one I read all night. Yeah. Well, that was only DMZ 5. I say that. I know I'm interrupting Byron here. Some of these abilities are a little sus. Like, they're not like dropping a meteorite, but like they're look at that. Fucking come on, that's a full super. Or like that one conjures up a gargantuan tornado. Like there is some like super skills here. I just want you to rip up the ground. Look at that. Come on, I mean, come on. But they're super expensive skills, don't get me wrong, but still. It's the only reason why I haven't got any of them, because they're super expensive. Because I want to upgrade, I want to max out my not Devil Trigger first.
Eager to be there when your brother arrived, but you whipped your chocobo too hard on the journey home and fell from the saddle. I shall never forget how Elwyn fussed over you as you sat in the sand, bawling like a babe.
Let's hop on Ambrosia. We're going to be here for ages otherwise. So what's up here, other than like a big sand dune probably stopping us? And some hounds. Oh, literally. I don't think we're getting over there anytime soon. Yeah, there's literally a cut-off, okay. Does the path join later? Or maybe it joins down there, let's have a look. I do think the next limit break upgrade is the last one though, so 4 bars is your max upgrade, so literally double what you start with. Can we get up here? It looks like we might be able to. Oh, is this the entrance over here? Aha.
That'll do, girl.
Oh, the game was pretty eager to kick me off my ride. Maybe because it's a village-esque area. I'm trying to get more experimental with the moveset, but sometimes it just makes up making me come across like I'm just not doing much. This is a village. Seratina. Oh, this... Well, what was once a village. Doesn't look like much now, obviously. You know what is actually genuinely really impressive, this game, that I don't think gets mentioned enough? How much this, like, super, like, AAA, extremely high-budget game with open environments has so many fucking towns and villages for you to just walk into and explore. You know, there was this huge thing, especially during the PS3 and 360 generation, of that you can't make that many towns or cities in RPGs anymore because it's too high on the budget for HD games. Meanwhile, this game has like 1 million of them. Obviously, that was like 2 generations ago, but still. Like, it's genuinely really impressive how many little villages and towns and outposts you can find. It's not just fields with like 1 hut at the end. No big city expeditions, though, and that was the same in 15. Like, If we go into a city, it's because we're on a linear mission, not because we actually get to run around and explore. But then I get that. That's probably was a bit too much, or maybe they just felt it unnecessary. There is a bunch of unused tracks in the soundtrack, though. That because the official soundtrack list has been revealed since the soundtrack comes out to CD at the end of the month, and if you get like the special edition,
I can't see a thing.
Yeah, that's the game pushing us away.
Come, Clive. Let us turn back before we lose our way.
Yeah. There's an 8th track if you get the special edition that comes with like all the unused tracks as well, and there's like a whole bunch of like unused city themes. So maybe at some point there was going to be a city expedition, but they eventually turned away from it. All right. There's away the item, but there's a whole bunch of enemies here. Oh, I was hoping to catch that. Are these red chocobos friend or foe? Let's find out. Hi. You're foe. Okay. You just wanted to be left alone. I'm so sorry. Well, I gotta kill at least one of you for the sake of the lore. So we get you added to the journals. Because there's a trophy for getting to level 5 on the journals, and I'm like real close. That's like some classic DMC1 strategy I was doing there for a second. Just fucking stinger spamming. Oh, we're nearly at 2,000 ability points. Oh, there's like a whole lining here. We have to go up and around. Okay, back on the ride. Hey, Ambrosia.
Run like the wind.
Travelers. Makes sense this is an outpost considering it's all this natural shade. Oh, we're just passing straight through it. Oh, I hopped off because I thought there might be people to talk to or something. Never mind, let's carry on.
I expect that's why. Ready, go? Yeah!
I'm surprised you're not overheating, Torgal. I know you've been revealed to be like a frost hound of like mythical proportions and all this other shit, but still.
Drink before we press on?
Straight home now.
So he's probably keeping himself cool because he's a frost hound, but still. Uh-oh, Torgal, what's up? That's usually not a good sign.
Look, there. Those are ashen steeds. No doubt about it.
And such a long ride from Stonehair. Our Waluda friends must be soothing their saddle sores in the inn. Shall we join them? Run along and play now, Torgal. Dogs aren't allowed inside.
Yeah. Go scouting, boy. We'll be back. Yeah, we have to go in. Why is it every time we go to a desert area we put the hoods up? Come on. Why is it every time we're in like a desert-esque area we go AC mode? Because this isn't suspicious at all. Two guys with hoods show up with swords. Well, and an axe.
day to you. Eating?
Sorry about my pal. He only talks when his mouth's full. What do you recommend?
Well, if you're after something light, we do a fine chocobo soup with lentils and honey.
2 bowls of that, then. An ale.
Right you are.
Hey, girl!
Coming!
Your pal?
Would you rather be my squire?
I was like, I had to make something up on the spot. Uncle Byron, come on. Now, who's this? And what's going on? Are we really that close to Joshua? Are you insane? We're in the same fucking bar. God damn it. I didn't even realise that was
well enough to travel.
the assistant. I didn't even realise because they're dressed different. Jesus Christ, they're like a room apart, these two brothers who haven't seen each other for like 2 decades. Come the fuck on.
I must speak with him at all costs. Miss this chance and I may never get another. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Grace. But you must at least agree to take your medicine. I'll fetch you some water.
I don't know if Clive's ever seen Joshua's assistant, so I don't know if Clive would even, like, spot her and realise actually who she is sort of thing, you know? But the problem is, just like us, she's also trying to keep her head down by the looks of it, so we're always going to be in, like, slightly out of each other's sight.
Keep watch, they tell us. But all I see is sand. I hear they got our guest back to the Fang without any trouble. We'll be leaving soon enough.
Why the Lord Commander dragged us all this way just to save that blockhead skin, I'll never know. Dominant or not, he's a bloody idiot.
That'll be Cooker, then.
Well, let's get this down us. We've a long way to go.
Hey, you!
God damn it, Uncle Byron. God damn it, Uncle Byron. You had to open your mouth. You're too loud.
Sorry.
Can you walk, Your Grace?
What's wrong?
I fear trouble may be brewing downstairs.
You two are travelers, are you not? Me and my companions are strangers here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to accompany us a while. Help us find our way.
Sorry, lads, but we've got business in camera that can't wait.
Ah, I'm sure you could spare us an hour or two.
Come on.
Friend.
Byron, time and a place, you idiot. Like, even that guy in the back was like, what the fuck is Byron doing? Come on, dude. Jesus Christ, he's got it all over his beard. Come on.
I'm afraid we don't have a moment to lose. Friend. Stay back, Uncle.
Gladly.
Is he just going to help himself to more ale? Of course he is, this fucking idiot.
Take it.
Try it.
Hang on 1 second, my mic's being a bit weird. There we are.
Bravo, my boy. Just like that.
Yep, you... Don't worry about joining in anytime, Byron. Fuck! That just ended the fight, damn! just flatten the house.
For your trouble. Word of advice, miss. That soup could do with a touch more salt.
Yeah, I don't think that girl cares right now, dude, but thanks, Byron. So there's a marriage ending, that's cool. She's an agile young lady. She just gets around.
Now's our chance.
For the sake of, making sure Joshua stays safe. She's extremely fucking loyal. Look, she's just hopped on that fucking table.
Fine.
Not afraid to progress relationships, just surprising considering Low Japan. Yeah, I get that. I get that annoyance when it happens, and I also get the appreciation when it does. But that's one thing that Final Fantasy is actually usually pretty good with as a franchise, since we're on the topic. Especially since 8. I mean, literally, I say that. Final Fantasy 4 literally has a theme called the Theme of Love, and it's the central theme of the fucking game. Oh, and this is Clive going to realise Josh is nearby. Yep, just missed him, mate. Just missed him. Oh no! But like starting from 8, like if there's a couple, they will actually have that couple be realised. Like if there's like a chance sort of thing, they don't shy away. Yep, you just missed him, Clive. No, you just missed him.
What is it now?
It's nothing. Let's go.
It didn't look like nothing. Like Uncle Byron would be like, what? What do you mean? Oh, damn. They're gonna, like, drag out these two brothers finally getting reunited again for as long as they can get away with, aren't they? It would genuinely be... I hate Torgal. It's genuinely gonna be, like, another lifetime before they reunite.
Well, we didn't know where to find Kupka before. We do now.
The Royalists said it themselves. Their guest is in the Fang. We should press on before any more of their friends turn up.
Further south. Markets, Briar's Kiss, the inn. Oh, the inn's currently closed because we fucking destroyed it. Toil Southgate. I'm gonna just proceed.
Lights and pots, holes and basins.
God, this is super. This is like a super Final Fantasy 12-esque area to me.
Look, Father. Hot water.
Is this like the Esther Sands? Oh, it's like we're not leaving so easily.
Ah, they've closed the road. And it's the only way from here to the Fang. It would seem Lord Kupka is not accepting visitors at present.
We have to get through that gate.
Not by force, I trust. We've attracted quite enough unwanted attention already.
By guile, then. Perhaps the Desert Hare can offer us her aid.
Rosina Dalamil, woman of mystery. But how will we find her? We know naught of her but her name.
And that she was working with Sid. Sid's other collaborators have all been people of means, the wealthiest and most successful members of their communities. I'll wager this Rosina Dalamel is the same.
That would certainly help to narrow the search. We need only inquire as to who is in charge of the town.
And that's exactly what I mean to do.
Alright, so I'm gonna start poking around.
Looks like we won't be getting back to Drake's family.
Light it, for Gilbert's sake. You're a bearer.
Anything I can help you with, travelers? Allow me.
Oh, God.
My good man, we represent one of the oldest and greatest trading houses of Port Isolde. We're seeking to expand our business in the region and would very much like to make the acquaintance of Dalamil's leading entrepreneurs. If only we knew where to find them.
Well, we're best known for our baths, our markets, and our smithies. I suppose you could do worse than start your search at one of those.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a lady by the name of Rosina Dalamil, would you?
No. I can't say I do.
Well, thank you all the same.
Not too bad, Byron. Sound a little forced, but you know what? Whatever. How about the stall holder?
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy?
Oh, Jesus Christ,
I won't
sorry.
keep you long. I'm looking for someone. A woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. Do you know her?
Never heard of her. Is that all?
One more question. If I wanted to find the richest trader in town, where would you recommend that I look?
Well, that's easy. The Briar's Kiss. Won't find a finer smithy this side of the strait. The owner's only a young sprig, but he's got all the right ideas.
The Briar's Kiss, you say? Thank you.
All right. This young sprig is the person we're looking for. You said Sid's contact was likely to be an influential sort. Influence comes with age and experience. Believe you me.
Mummy, I want to play with the crystal.
Anyone else? Oh, there is someone else. I was going to say, look, there's another marker or someone we can talk to. Riverboat captain.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. A long-standing pillar of your community, I believe, from old trading stock.
Then you should ask further. He's been here for years. Knows the place and its people like the back of his hand. And he's in with all the old merchant families. Try the baths. That's where you'll usually find him.
Thank you kindly. Well, it sounds like we have our man.
Do we?
Perhaps. Let's go and find out exactly what this Furder knows.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Excuse me.
I think we're just going to go on a wild goose chase, I'm honest.
I am. Can I help you, travelers?
I hope so. You've lived here for some time, is that correct? Do you know Rosina Dalamil? We believe she may be a trader of some renown.
And what business do you have with the Desert Hare?
She was a close friend of mine. I was hoping she might be able to help me.
Very well. Go to the bordello. I'll arrange an introduction.
And where'd that be? I mean, it worked out, so it ended up not being what I
Do you
feared.
think we can trust him?
Only as far as I think he trusts us.
So no. No, we're going to get ambushed. Potentially.
So you're the
Yep.
ones who've been sniffing around.
I beg your pardon?
Don't play the fool. Stick your nose in our business and you're likely to lose it.
My guys, half of you are literally shirtless. What are you expecting to accomplish out of this? And I'm a fully armoured man. Well, I said I got leather pants on, but that's besides the point. I'm a fully armoured Final Fantasy protagonist. Such a tiny fucking arena though, Jesus. That wasn't too hard. Over 2,000 ability points. We can max out our limit break. Next chance we get.
Who are you working for? Him or her?
Him. The boss. He wanted us to test you.
Though one could hardly call that a test.
Lord Ferda?
Look what the cat dragged in.
Your skill with the blade is rare indeed, my lord. A fitting talent for an outlaw.
You know who I am. So what now? Call in the Men of the Rock and collect the bounty?
That isn't my decision to make. Our work is done. Take him to meet his precious Rosina. She will be interested to make his acquaintance.
Yes, my lord. To the Lock of Leisure, then.
To the Lock of Leisure.
So that should mean... Yes, we have a 4th bar now. We're all maxed out.
Needed to a silken soft... Like
Once you go flat... ... What is that?
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
The finest...
Is this the place?
Ubor's Forge. The Briar's Kiss.
Ah, so it was the young sprig after all. So much for Rosina Dalamil being a woman of experience. How wrong I was.
It was an easy mistake to make, Uncle. After all, it must have been years since Sid last saw her. Sorry, him. Whoever this Lubor truly is, he's clearly a man of means. I'd say he deserves our respect.
See that he gets it. Lubor, Lord Ferda told me to bring them to you.
My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid the Second?
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity? Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so, for you, I, too, have nothing. I'm not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
Let's leave this mummer to his farce.
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
So, what do we need to do to earn your trust?
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Ha! Men like you have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want. Always.
Fine. So what do you want?
Don't tell me you're going to listen to this swaggering scruff!
We might as well hear him out. It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers. Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalamil. Return to me when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
Oh, that's nice and vague. Thanks.
Trouble! If you're going to give us orders, be clear about them. Damn you.
No, I think that's part of the test, Uncle Byron.
Beard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
Oh, Jesus, this guy's...
Will be easy.
He's going to be helpful, but he's going to be annoying, isn't he? He's a very cocky little shit, isn't he?
Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right.
Try not to cause too much trouble, Uncle. Follow the crystals.
I thought we were the only ones causing trouble in them.
Speak to the town people. For the best drop in Dalamil, visit the final sting. Oh, there we are. I was gonna say, there's gonna be someone around here. Alright, don't mind me, Merch. Just doing jumping jacks behind you.
Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market, either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
Alright, noted. Let's go back out to this chunk of the field, Jesus.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang, for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
Last person. In the middle of the markets. Okay, so we might just run straight past them if we're not careful. A lot of people around.
The juiciest meat from Green's Red. You wouldn't believe how much he gave me.
What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm
not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
I think
All right.
I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
Yeah, probably bring in trouble with him knowing him.
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
Hey, serving girl. She's probably like, oh, not you again.
You, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
Yeah, there was a hanging on the butt. There's probably some trouble he's brought. There's Uncle Byron, he wouldn't not. Jesus Christ. But he also went the whole distance. She's... Come on. Uh-oh.
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Even Clive's like, oh god, here we go. Even Clive knows. Speak with the moron. What have you done?
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd asked for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from Prime.
Oh Jesus, you're not kidding when you said secluded.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
Sure.
Of course.
If and when. Genuine cactar needles imported from across the sea. Just one prick and your little sparrow will sing. Oh, so cactars are a thing in this game as well. Another Final Fantasy staple.
Fucking men of the wrong.
Oh, this is a dead end. We have to go down and around. Alright. Or at least through and around.
Just look at the... Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Do you think they'll be back soon? I need a new dress.
Take a sniff, good sir.
The finest fabrics, fresh from the capital.
The Southern Velcroid Desert. Jesus. Okay, it's not as big as the main chunk of the desert, but still, oh god. Bandit's Bed. We haven't been up there yet. Alright, back on our ride. It's a long run.
Good girl.
Oh, that's a tree. For a second, I saw that in the distance. I mean, what is that thing that's just the top of a tree? God, imagine if you didn't do the side quest to get the chocobo. Oh, fine.
Be safe.
And you have to run all this. See if I can line them both up. Hey, I did get them both. Nice. That looks like a trap. You know what? Going for it. No? Alright, never mind. Go look at Uncle Byron go. This guy can fucking run. That man can book it. Not too bad for an old boy.
I'll take it from here.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem. My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
Alright, bring it on. Since that guy is too busy going, "Me lord," like a fucking crony. Oh, he landed on that rock. I don't know if this will catch him. Oh, it does still catch. Awesome.
It's not over yet, Uncle.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Who's the healer? Oh, there you are, I see you. Hey, you fuck.
You're finished.
All this time when you didn't even do it with one dude. Come on. Come on, Byron. I know you're an old boy, but you've got some kick in you. I'm sure you do. Oh, don't make me hit the bird. Goodness knows I've done enough damage to the chocobos in this game. Oh, look at Torgal going at it. Jesus. Go on, Torgal. Go on, boy. Torgal was actually doing some damage. It nearly killed this thing by itself.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalamil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Sometime later. Most common of subtitles.
I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Double the...
Here, wear this.
Another fucking badge added to the collection. Now we can pick up side quests in the area.
Friend of yours.
Thank you.
Always the way. We've got to add more badges to the collection.
Feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
Omia lostelan. Tuisakelis.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive? So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Yeah, because there's bound to be like 6 side quests in the area now we can do. Oh, well, a couple. Oh, there's also a shop we can check. Hang on. I'm going the right way, yes I am. I wish there was a mini-map. I do kind of wish there was a mini-map when you're out in the field a little bit, just to make sure I'm going the right direction. I appreciate the minimalism they're going for, but at the same time, a little more wouldn't have hurt.
Sweet insect. Ah, they've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Good day, my lord.
Sword. Lightning rod cooldown. Meteorite and desert roses. 1,000 tables, orchestron. Okay, the usual grievances then.
Here you are. An excellent choice. Go with Gilbert.
Alright, let's go pick up some side quests.
Everything I've worked for, all those years of toil, every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be. On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalimil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you. Go to Dusnoff Terraces. Tell me what you find there.
All right.
I'll go and take a look.
Wonderful.
It's on the way.
It's not far. Leave the market by the south gate. The smell of sulphur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
So that's right there. Let's go pick up the other one. They might both be on the way, which would be very appreciated.
The juiciest meat,
the most fragrant herbs and
my
spices.
carpets have pride of place.
I've never even forged a button. Perhaps Forge Master Luber's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I.
Hello, Sava. What can I do for you, my dude?
Oh, wait. Are you Clive? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalimil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalimil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalimil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
All right, time to go chat around the town.
Someone says something useful.
Carving out a niche.
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I'd better get to it.
What I'm hearing?
It would make a fire.
Heyo, do you know anything?
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
Flesher. Oh, Jesus.
If you don't mind.
Just call her a butcher. Why Flesher? That sounds so much more disturbing.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Alright, let's continue poking around, see what else we may find.
Silver platters.
Maybe above us? Let's have a look. Because that's our town, that objective. That's the other one.
Fucking metal.
I need to drink. You're going to drink my pocket.
Oh, we've gone out of range. That's what that sound effect was.
So, you use
The finest fabric.
Take a sniff, sir.
Alright, whoever we spoke to that might have us a hint.
The baths are, closed for scrubbing. Please bear with us a little longer.
How far back does this go?
I'll be asking for you again.
Doesn't look like many people out back here really know.
1,000 gil for a meal.
It's literally just trying to, like, pick out the... Oh, there we go. So, like, pick out the magic pixel a little bit here. There we go.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
Yeah, we just got very much the it should be sharp, it should not break. Go away. You know? Alright, let's see what we get out of this.
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalimil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favourite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Alright, we're not done. Where do you go? Oh, up north to the Valcroy? God damn it. I mean, yeah, it's called the Valcroy. I should have fucking been able to tell. But I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to do the whole journey. Alright, let's go. It's only a little run. We can walk back down because there's a teleport there, so we don't have to do the whole run back down, thankfully.
Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so it doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalamil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
The limestone? Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides,
yeah, go get it.
I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's...
Yeah, besides, Clive's like, besides, I'm curious.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly.
Yeah, because now we can walk back and then just go down and get it. And while we're there, it's right next to the other one, we can do that.
Well, this is no good.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
The fine
The most fragrant herbs and
fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Plates and pots! Hanging lanterns!
God, I love that. Just walking down the street and just hearing loads of different voices shouting their wares as you go down. Just adds so much to like the believability of everything in the world.
Ah, I'm not too late.
Oh, we got plot first, I guess.
What is it, Lubo? A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Talmeki and Walud are allies, and as you have seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. My man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
Oh, there's bombs over there. God damn, look at the glow of the water from all the salt.
One rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is...
That's what we need. Well, let's go around and do that, and then we can turn it in. It's a long trek, but we could do with a bit of a detour from what we've been doing anyway. Just got to pay attention when it's a proper turning. God, straight into like a red canyon as well, damn. I need to sell my gill bugs. We've got so many of these things. So it should be this way? Yes. We'll find the cause of our trouble for this other quest, for the water source. Yeah, and it makes sense why it's heating it up, because these bombs are what's heating it up. They're fire creatures.
By the flames. That explains the heat.
Oh my god, there's a lot of them. Are these called bath bombs? Cute. Did I just parry it trying to blow up?
The frying pan.
I like the design of this one. Oh, you bitch, come on. There's one in between them. Garuda! Garuda! Garuda!
Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
So where is this? Alright, just turn both these in, see how we get. I want to at least unlock the next main level before we wrap up. I know we're nearing 3 hours, which is usually what I aim for, just because of work and whatnot, but still.
This is enough.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant.
Thank you.
She's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon.
Wrapping up to not for another like 10 to 20, maybe 30 minutes yet, because I want to wrap up the side quests here and at least unlock the next major level. But I will be soonish, sort of thing. Depends how long it takes us to actually unlock the next major level. Because then the next time we start 16, we can jump straight into like one of the hype matches. Because I think our next major level will lead us straight to a showdown with Titan.
I only hope Master Lu.
And if there's one thing this game's taught me, when it's a showdown between icons, is you brace yourself. Because that's where it's going to go real fucking hard.
Let's take a look then, shall we?
And considering how much Kupka's already lost, it's going to be a real fucking murder match. He's going to be out for blood.
Fine people of Dalimil?
We took his gold, we took his hands.
I'd like to think so.
Took his pride. He's not going to be happy about any of that.
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalimil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords.
Yeah, Lubo's going to say, look, it's all well and good making something expensive, but who the fuck are you going to sell it to? No one has any money here. You've got to make things cheap.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
Yeah, know your customers. He literally just told you that.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
But you passed. It was worth the running back and forth.
For the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The spirit of Dalimil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
Thanks, I guess. And let's go turn in the other one. Let the hot spring dude know that his hot springs aren't too hot anymore. Goblin coin. I need to go to the shop and sell all them. How many do we fucking have of these goblin coins? Or sellables in general? 8 of them. Really? Only 8? I thought we had more for some reason. Oh, never mind.
My carpets have
Take a sniff, good sir. Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Alright, let's go turn this in, then we can start working our way down to the jaw. All of this is... Jesus fuck... Not yet.
There he is. Good man. I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, should we tell the man what actually happened?
What did you find at the terraces? What threatened
Yeah,
to
fire
make me a
demons.
pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already.
Yeah, the crystals, like sacred lands, some of the creatures of those lands are starting to bleed out into the overworld. So seeing bombs in the field is worrying. Ooh, ignition cooldown reduced. That's actually kind of nice. Right. There's a shopkeep here. To sell the things are sellables and actually head our way down to the Drake's Fang.
Are you looking for something?
Or try and get to Drake's Fang. Sell.
Anything else I can take off your hands? Thank you.
Oh, we've got goblin coins as well. That's where the confusion is.
Pleasure trading with you. Fare you well.
We should get going soon.
How is she doing financially? Other than, well, 93k, 334, yeah.
Have water?
Come on, bros, yeah.
Run like the wind.
There's only one path we can really take, because one led to a side quest and the other's locked off, so let's just head down. Yeah, that path's blocked off according to the map, so we have to go this way. See what we find down here. In the jaw. A dead end. Alright. Let's see what we find. Yeah, it's going to force us off our chocobo. I had a feeling. At least we activated the obelisk here so we can walk back.
There it is. Drake's Fang.
Kupka will be hiding inside.
Along with goodness knows how many guards, all on highest alert. You'll need to keep your wits about you if you're to reach him. So be careful.
I will, Uncle.
Before you go, Clive, allow me to apologize. After what befell at Phoenix Gate and the crisis that followed in its wake, I fled. I retreated to my counting house and danced attendance upon the vicereine in the hope it would bring me favor. I betrayed my nation to save my skin, like the coward I am. And I'm sorry.
Uncle, please.
It's not too late, Clive. Rosaria is yours by right, and there are those that would help you to take it back.
Had I the courage of my brother, I might already have done so. But that ship has sailed. You, however...
No. Forgive me, but I cannot. I fight to build a new world now. A better world. Where men can live and die on their own terms.
He is turning into Sid.
Nation that strove to improve the plight of bearers. Only later did I realize that spark of freedom did not arise by chance, but was kindled by my father. You would see me follow in his footsteps. And that is exactly what I mean to do. Not by ruling Rosaria, but by extending his ideals to the whole of the twins. Though every soul in the realm may judge my actions heresy, I am certain my cause is just.
You really are just like him, you know? Thank you, Clive, for coming back to me. I am proud to call you nephew. Well then, this is where we must part ways. Wish me luck in convincing my Canvarian friend to share his considerable talents. I mean to plunder his coffers and prove myself worthy of a place in your merry band.
I love the cast of characters in this game, I really do. There's so much heart placed into every single character in this game, whether they be main or side.
Go safely, Uncle.
And you, nephew.
And a sense of family, even those that aren't of blood. Like, obviously that these two are, but you know what I mean.
Regale me with the tales of all your adventures when next we meet. You can regale me too, Torgal.
And there you are, back on attacking 7 Remake for minding its business. 7 Remake's main cast were fine. I can't stress it enough, their main cast was fine. They honoured what the original was, and did enough of a unique spin on them, while still holding true to what they were. 16, however, is grounded in its originality. It's not having to base itself off of anything that came before, whilst Remake is basing itself off something that came, you know, in 97. Dad mode, though. Right. Next level's been unlocked. The Drake's Fang. This is going to easily be our last showdown with Kupka, which means it will probably be a very fucking long level. So I'm not going to do it now. Because by the time we're done, it'll be way over time, and I'll need to rush wrapping up to have food and all the rest. The original. I disagree. If the biggest thing they improved, the biggest thing that can't be contested. Oh, a new missive's been delivered to Clive's Chambers. Let's try that. That was improved in the original with some of the language. There was some of the wording and some of the language in the original 7 that just needed to fucking change, and not even because of because of naughty words or anything like that. Just like the nature of how they presented parts of its story needed to change, and the remake cleaned that up. It's just that they hold true to the spirit of the original characters, and the original characters are genuinely fucking phenomenal. The problem is that people who've only experienced Remake have only experienced Act fucking 1. So they haven't seen the strife and the background and why Barrett is the way he is, and why it drags him down the way it does, and why he has to face the world the way he does. They haven't seen the anxieties and the reason for her fears that Tifa carries with her everywhere, you know? And so people have only experienced the Remake, have only experienced the surface level of the characters. While 16 in comparison is the full game. It's not 16 part 1, you know? So so we're getting to see these whole character growths. It's the only reason why I say it's not that fair. Speak to me again when part 3 comes out. Maybe then it'll be like, yeah. More sympathetic group. Shinra are killing the planet to serve their own pockets whilst pretending it's for other people. The problem is that in part 1, you only get to see the make-believe. Everything they do is to serve their pockets, because and the only reason they do it is to chase a religion that doesn't fucking exist. Because they want to find the Holy Land, just because the ancients are the journey to the ancient land, and it's like, no, the promised land doesn't exist the way you think it does. The promised land is the world's gonna fucking end. But they chase it wholeheartedly anyway, and kill anyone, and plight anything, and drain any what, as they see fit. Oh yeah, absolutely, that's the point. That's the point of Barrett's character development. The whole point of Barrett's character development throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy VII is that he's this headstrong rebel without a cause, whose cause is directly hurting those around him, and he refuses to see it. It's only when he's forced to face reality as the game goes on, by the very people he hates and the very people he challenges putting reality in his face, that he eventually changes his tune. He still fights, but he starts to fight for a cause he believes in, and fights for a way that is believable and more supportable. Not just a man built on hatred, which is what he is right now. Because yeah, he is a terrorist. He literally is. There's no two ways about it. The only difference is, in Barrett's mind, is that blowing up the Marco reactors saves the long term, but damages the short term. Whilst what Shinra are doing is the other way around. Making things better in the short term, but ruining the planet, so damaging the long term. They're both kind of bastards in different ways, depending on how you want to look at it. It's just finding their way forward one way or another. The biggest thing that people tend to forget when they talk about Final Fantasy VII's story is that no one technically wins at the end. When after you beat the original story, after the credits, it fast forwards about 1,000 years to show you the state of the world afterwards, and no human being is alive anymore. The entirety of humanity goes extinct within the next millennium in Final Fantasy VII's world, because of the nature of the events that were going on through the story and the nature of the fights that happened within. Nothing remains. That into three parts, but I know what you mean. The only reason for that is because they wanted to expand on everything so much. And yeah, because you leave Midgar, I kid you not, in under 4 hours in the original Final Fantasy VII. You don't stay there long. Under 3 hours if you know what you're doing. It genuinely doesn't take you that long. And yet they expanded it into a full 60-hour game, you know? They heavily fucking expanded into a 60-hour experience. Which is why, I have to be so pushing on the point where I say, it's literally only the beginning. The reason why you haven't seen these character developments isn't because it isn't there, it's because it's too early in the story for you to have it. I highly recommend the original. The original is literally, to a fault, the reason why every single turn-based RPG that came afterwards has what it has, because it literally reinvented the wheel. And a lot of people don't like to acknowledge that, especially if they have a vendetta against Final Fantasy, but it's literally one of those undisputed facts, in the same way Devil May Cry 3 is the reason every action game is the way it is now. Final Fantasy 7 is the reason why every turn-based RPG was the way it was afterwards. For at least a good 15 years. Lost Odyssey would not exist throughout Final Fantasy 7. Persona 3 and 4 would not... Well, because Persona 1 and 2 were fucking all over the place. Persona 3 and 4 would not exist if it weren't for FF7. Shin Megami Tensei 3 onwards would not exist without FF7. It's such a pioneering piece, and I think it's worth experiencing once. It doesn't have to be your favourite, it doesn't mean you have to, love everything about it, because, yeah, it's aged. It is aged in a lot of ways, the original game, but it's still, I think, worth trying at least once. It's not even my personal favourite of the original. My personal favourite is Final Fantasy 4. Why do you think I covered it first? And then afterwards, it'd probably be, Final Fantasy 13-2. And then maybe this game at this rate, fucking going. And then 15, 10, 9, 6, 12. Actually, 12's probably higher up. I wouldn't know where I'd put 12 exactly, but 12's probably higher up. But you get the gist. Anyway, let me read this letter. Sid II, I trust you will forgive me for putting you and your dear uncle to the test. I am confident that a man of your position can understand the importance of earning one's trust, especially in times like these. For what it is worth, you now have earned mine, and I can assure you shall not easily be relinquished. May this be a start of a fruitful relationship. Rosanna. the biggest problem, and it is genuinely a problem, and I'll probably end up talking about it more when I play Rebirth, which is part 2, is the fact that it's a sequel. It's not a full-blood remake, but it's not a full-blood sequel. It's something in between. So, the game expects and almost demands knowledge of the original story to understand what's changed, and that is genuinely a huge criticism. If you haven't played the original, you are left so fucking far behind at times. Like, the basic story's still there, but anytime there's something different, you probably won't know it's something that's different and acknowledge that it's not how it should be. Outside of the spirits, because that's the entire point of the spirits, to try and correct things. But like Sephiroth showing up at fucking all in Midgar, you haven't played the original 7, you don't know he's not supposed to fucking show up anywhere in Midgar. You never see Sephiroth once in the entirety of Midgar. You don't see him for the first time until well after the fact. You don't even fight Jenova in Midgar, yet you have a full Jenova boss fight in Remake Part 1. You learn of Jenova, you see Jenova, but you don't fight that thing until you're on the ship on the way to the other side of the border. Which is way later. You've already done the next big city by then. You know? Like, there's so much shit that in Remake changed, that it changed built off the expectation of you to know the original, and that is a very damning criticism. Some games can get away with it. The original Final Fantasy VII came out 25 years ago. You can't expect everyone to have played a 25-year-old game, you know? Or to have known that 25-year-old game. It just isn't real. It isn't reality.
My knowledge is yours.
And that was the biggest fault they made. So when I hear that Rebirth is going to make a better ability to make sure people can keep up the original, I'm like, yeah, we'll fucking see. You know? But if you have played the original, if you have seen Advent Children, if you have experienced Crisis Core, Remake's one of the most satisfying fucking experiences next to, well, this game. And then this game earns it off its own merit, while 7 Remake earns it off the back of its predecessors. And that is equally a genuine discussion that could be had about the merit of which one is. Personally, yeah, I am, so far at least, preferring 16, because 16 accomplishes everything it does off its own back. It doesn't have any legacy to rely on. While 7 Remake embraces and then challenges its own legacy in subtle ways. Some more subtle, some more grand, admittedly, but still. Like, if you've never played the original, you have no reason to know there's 4 Sephiroths running around in the remake. 4 different timeline Sephiroths running around. If you've never played the original, you have no idea what the cast are subtly implying in 7 Remake, because they expect you to already know the twists they're implying. While 16, built of its own back, they have to build their entire cast from that groundwork, you know? They don't, like, if they put something subtly in the background, it's because they plan to pay it off later in this entry. Not because it's something that you'll just have to wait another game for, or something that you're expected to already know. And one tiny little thing, teeny tiny little thing, that just makes this game infinitely easier to follow, that I hope every single Final Fantasy main game or remake follows in the future, is ATL, Active Time Lore. Having a system in place where, depending on what's going on in the story, you can at any point bring up the lore and the details of what's going on, makes all the difference in the world. So if you're falling behind, or you're not understanding something, or you're not sure what they're supposed to be hinting at, you just hold one button, you can even do it during cutscenes, and the game fucking tells you. And if you're really stuck, there's State of the Realms over here that tells you every detail about every character, and the Tomes that tells you every single detail about the lore of the world. So you're never left behind. And I think if Final Fantasy VII Remake had something like that, people who've never played the original, although not entirely singing a different tune, because there's still a lot of fundamental problems with 7 Remake despite my love for it, it would make it a lot easier to swallow that you could just do this and be like, who the fuck's this character? Who the hell's this? What are they up to? You know? And you don't get that in 7 Remake. Because they expect you to just know. You know?
One must understand one's place in the world. The state of
But
the
I love
world
7 Remake, but I'm not immune to its criticisms. You know? There is still room for improvement. And if anything, 16 just highlights its room for improvement tenso. It really, really puts to the forefront some of the things that left side Final Fantasy could learn from. Because once again, this is a right side Final Fantasy game. And if you like 16 but aren't a fan of 7 Remake, this isn't just for you, this is more for anyone in general. Consider trying other right side Final Fantasies. Consider Final Fantasy 6, 9, 12, Tactics, or 14. consider any of those games, because you'll probably enjoy them. If you're not a fan of Left Side, you might like Right Side more. I just don't like... Yeah, and that's fair enough. I love Seven's cast. Admittedly I have the bias of the original, but I felt I liked it more because all of the spin-offs that came afterwards did, like, my biggest pet peeve with any spin-off of a game ever. They dumbed down every character to, like, 2 tropes and made that their entire character. And that's the same in Advent, that's the same in Crisis Core, with the exception of Zack, which is why people love Zack. They especially did it in Dirge of Cerberus, is the reason why people fucking hate that game. You know, like, all of them kind of struggled and did that whole, oh, it's just a spin-off, let's just break them down to their basics. So Aerith was just, like, dumb, pretty flower girl. Tifa was just rock-hard tough girl, which neither are true. If anything, it's more the other way around. Aerith is extremely street smart and knows how to play a game, whilst Tifa is extremely anxious and shy and struggles with her own feelings. And the remake was the first thing since the original that kind of got that and understood it. It's just you don't get to see it fully realised because it's only a part of the story, and a small part of it at that. But I digress. I'm gone around in the loop and had Clive running in circles for ages. That's it, but I will... And I don't like doing this, I'll still take it as its own beast, but I will still make a point of saying there are high expectations now for Remake Part 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has got some very fucking tall boots to fill because of this game. There are little things in this game I'd love to see improved, don't get me wrong. But as a collective, Jesus fucking Christ, this game is phenomenal. You know? Like, the open fields... They're good, but they're more passable than, like, brilliant. You know, like, they do the job. There could be room to improvement. Put more little things in between. The side quests, I like the side quests because they're all built around world building, but the pacing of them is kind of all over the place. Some of them are way too long for, like, little payback. You know, there are little gripes I can have. But then you have the characters, then you have the music, then you have the levels, then you have the icon fights. Like, you know, you have these absolute fucking hype as hell moments and phenomenal characters backing them up that just make everything come together so magically that you don't care that the fields are a little slow, that you don't care that the pacing of the quests can be a little you know? Like, the strengths of this game are so goddamn strong, all of the criticisms feel like they don't matter. My best interest not to, but people love it. Yeah, I can't stress enough, and I shouldn't, I don't have to tell you this, and I know I don't have to tell you this, I can't stress enough, regardless of whether your audience wants you to play something or not, if you know you're not going to enjoy it, put your fucking foot down. Because there is and I've told you this before, especially Left Side, I mean, it's existed for everything falsely, but especially Left Side, there's always been a degree of people who go out of their way to, in bad faith, just shit on everything Left Side. Everything is Nomura's fault, everything is just anime horseshit, everything is just underdevelopment bullshit and all the rest. And if anyone, even for a second, even remotely agrees with their philosophy, regardless of how good or bad faith that is, they'll latch onto you like nobody's business. And it's just not worth encouraging those kind of group of people, because you'll never make them happy. You could go through the whole game and be like, okay, I didn't like it as a whole, but at least this one little thing I thought was interesting, or I at least like the idea they're going for with this, and they'd still like rip the shit out of you because they don't like the fact you liked anything about it. There's a left side and right. Okay, after the release of Final Fantasy VI, the entire Final Fantasy development team split in two, and they often get nicknamed the left side and the right side. The left side made Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, 13 trilogy, 15, and the 7 remake. The right side made 9, 11, 12, Tactics, 14, and now 16. If you make your crew happy, ultimately it doesn't matter. But if you know you're not going to enjoy something, I can't stress enough, don't. Because it's not going to be worth dragging yourself down, making yourself... Because if you already don't like it from the first part, the second game, if it ends up being more of the same, will just make you hate it more. You know? It's not going to suddenly turn your tune. It's not suddenly going to change your tune, sorry, on how you feel about it. Oh, look, the biggest thing the remake's changing is that Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are potentially still alive. Potentially. There's a huge fucking potentially, because they leave it so ambiguous at the ending. I said it, we know, Biggs is still alive, because we see him, but everyone else is implied. It's just, did they or didn't they? But you get what I mean. And it's like, if you're not a fan of left side, try right side, because right side's more traditional. But equally, like I said, there's a whole group of people who literally go out of their way, entirely in bad faith, with not an ounce of, like, care for anyone who works on it or anything like that, to just fucking demolish and hate on the left side entirely. Because it's too anime, it's too Nomura, even though Nomura's barely involved in any of them. He didn't even lead development. He didn't even, like, he wasn't even the one that decided everything in Remake, for fuck's sake. Everyone blames him for it. No, he was the producer. And he's not even involved in future parts, for goodness sake. But no, it's all Nomura's fault, apparently, that 7 Remake changed things from the original. Ugh. But it's just people in bad faith, and I just don't engage in them. I love what I love, and I'm not going to let people go about it, because I know they're coming from a place of they don't like Japanese games, you know? And it's just because the left side are more anime focused that they shit on it more, because it's too Japanese for them. Whilst right side, being more Western influenced as a whole, it still has some of it in it, tends to get better received by even that crowd, just because it's more what they want. But I've talked long enough. But it's why, like, 7 Remake Part 2 is in development at the same time this is, because it's different teams, for example. It's why Remake Part 2 is only, like, 9-ish months away. According to leaks, it's coming out in January. So it's not even that far away. But it also makes me curious what 17 will do. Like, I would love this team to make 17 as well. I would love to put 16 man seems fun as fuck. Yeah, genuinely, I can't stress enough I love this game. And it's still getting quality of life and patches as well. Because I said, they patched out motion blur, which is a saving grace for me, because the motion blur is obnoxious. But there's also, like, little things to play to your playstyle as well, if you don't like certain things. Like, firstly, I'm playing on normal mode, but it's like, you can make target lock, hold or toggle. You can change all the camera speeds, change, like, vertical maps. Make it so the camera will only follow you during certain instances and not all the time. Change whether you want frame rate or not. All the volume stuff, and, like, you can make visual alerts if you need it. Change all this stuff. 6 different control schemes so you can find one you like easier. And if you, like, are struggling with a specific thing, there's a bunch of, like, beginner-friendly accessories you get that, like, will auto use a potion when you're low on health. Will, you know, make it so Clive will auto combo if you need any of that shit. I mean, if you've played Devil May Cry, you don't, if we're being blunt, because it's literally Devil May Cry in some instances, but still. And at some point, I'd love to cover other Final Fantasies in general, but I'd love to cover other, like, right-side Final Fantasies, just to kind of show, like, where some of their origins came from. Like, play Final Fantasy XII and show, despite its grievances, what they managed to accomplish out of a PlayStation 2. You know, I mean, everyone, like, do I really need to tell you, like, that people fucking love Final Fantasy XIV? That's right side. That's the exact same team that made this game. Let me save, actually, before I forget. There we are. There is an autosave, but I like to save anyway. But this game rules. I can't stress enough. Like, I'm not going to say where I would place it in my list, because, like I said, Final Fantasy is a franchise I've known my entire life. So suddenly asking me to put the new one somewhere in it's going to be... Terms, please. Would you... In what sense? Like, because Final Fantasy XII is a... extremely, not entirely open world, but very open environment game with an extremely rich story, with lots of characters, with politics going on between all of the, not necessarily like politics in literally politicians, but you know what I mean, like social politics. Okay, literally, like, if the only way to put it, think of it as like Team 1 and Team 2. After the Final Fantasy VI was released, there were the teams basically split into 2 different directions. One of them made ones that are more, not anime-centric, but more that are more, like, contemporary fantasy, whilst one leaned in more traditional fantasy, where in that sense. The traditional family team is what we call right side, whilst the contemporary fantasy side is what we call left side. Right side, like I said, is nowadays, like, the MMO crew, Final Fantasy 16, things like that. Whilst left side is more like the Final Fantasy 7 remake and Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts, that's also that team. That sort of deal. Well, Kingdom Hearts is also its own team, but they just help out a lot in that side, or like Team 1's endeavors. To be fair, it's very much a community term, so you're not gonna like, if you're not with like the franchise like for as many years as I have, that's not something you're gonna know. That's just something that I know because I've been in the franchise for way too fucking long, you know. Or I should say, to be more accurate, Team 2 and Team 3, because Square Enix Team 1 is literally just business. They, as far as I'm aware, they're not a development team. Team 2 is what makes like the games. Team 3 is what makes the MMO and this one, which is why like when you load up Final Fantasy 16, it comes up saying Creative Business Unit 3, because it's literally telling you what team's on it. Whilst when you started 15, it tells you like Team Luminous, because that's the nickname they gave themselves when they're actually called like Business Division Unit 2. And like for example, like Unit 6 is like the mobile games. I don't know what all the units are, I just know what the contenders, like the big ones are, so to speak. Makes a 14, 15, Tactics on the PS1. Yeah, of that lot, 14 and Tactics are right side, and 7 Remake and 15 are left side. Basically, if it's more modern or sci-fi or just contemporary fantasy, it's probably left side. If it's more traditional or has like kingdoms or has like meta commentary or, you know, is way more grounded, it's probably right side. That's the easiest way to think of it. Like, there might be a few ones odd here and there, but as a whole, it's that general gist. Whilst Final Fantasy 1 through 6 are back before the team was split, so it's one collective. And you'll see that when I play Final Fantasy 6, when I play FF6, you'll see both almost like the origins of what later became 7, but also the origins that later became like the MMO stuff. Like, you'll see these influences of like modern technology affecting the fantastical world, but there's still like really detailed fantasy kingdoms and traditional like magitech machines built off the backs of like ancient hit magics and whatnot. They made Russian dubs available, so I'm gonna make Soviet Russian. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'd love to cover more Final Fantasies. 12 and 15, I did Let's Plays on both of them back at the time, so although I'd love to livestream them as well at some point, I'm in no immediate rush. Especially 12, because that's a bit more recent, and that game's huge. But, like, the whole classic saga I want to cover at some... Minus, well, you have to make me play 2 through the sub-goals, but you know what I mean. But classic, like, cover all the classics. 7, I unfortunately can't cover because they put a blocked scene over 2 boss fights, and although I could just talk about it or whatever, I'd rather not have to do that for active gameplay. It's one thing talking over an ending cutscene where I can just tell you what the lines are, it's a whole nother thing when it's significant boss fights. 8 is extremely grindy, but I'd happily do that at some point. It's just, like I said, hella grindy. Hard in the bring of capitalism. And 10 and 10-2 I'd love to cover. The reason why I'm hesitant on 9 is because 9, although not as grindy, is a hella long game as well. And the port that's currently on PlayStation is kind of a bad port. Which is really unfortunate. If you can play FF9, it's one of those things where if you can, try and get the original on PS1. Because the version on PS4 is based off the mobile phone port. And didn't really fix anything from it. So it's like, you can kind of tell when you're playing it, it's not a console version of the game, it's a mobile phone version of the game that's ported to console. So it has a bunch of weird problems that just didn't exist in the original. And a lot of weird frame rate issues that didn't exist in the original. The game stutters like a madman. And I'd love to cover 10. Like, when I was... It's a fun little bit of trivia to actually wrap up on. When I first started doing content on YouTube back when I was 16, I live streamed Final Fantasy X. And I did about 6 streams and then didn't play it again and never wrapped up that series and eventually removed it from my channel. Because I didn't have the time. I was in the middle of college still at the time. And I just never had the time. And for the longest time, I've been wanting to get back and try and give it another go. So that would be kind of like a grand resurgence. Whether I still call Titus what I called him in the when I first covered the 10, that's left to be seen, because that ends up being a bit of a curse to my projects. I went through a period of time of giving, anytime the game let me name a character, giving them the name Doomfuck, because it's spelled dumbfuck. I'd call him Doomf, and so I'd call Titus Doomf. But it started the trend of anytime I called a character Doomf, that project was doomed for me to never finish. I wish I was kidding. Every single live stream or Let's Play where I ended up calling a character Doom, I never finished it. And so I was like, I might end up, like, swerve that curse and actually call Tidus. I know I called him Tidus because I don't agree with the localization, and I never have. That the Final Fantasy X is this huge theming of water, and the main character's name is literally Tidus. It's Tidus, because it's a theme of water. Tides. But no, the American localization went Tidus, and I was like, and they've stuck to that ever since, and I've just never agreed with it, so I'll call him Tidus. It was also the very first Final Fantasy to have voice acting, so I suppose there were some things that were going to have to get thrown a bone, because they were still figuring shit out, but still. Anyway, I've just been running back and forth for ages now, I need to wrap up. And the 13 trilogy, I would fucking love to cover the entire 13 trilogy. But you know what? That would require Square to port it. The whole 13 trilogy is stuck on PS3 and 360. Oh, and Steam, but I'm not gonna get Steam just for that. For too long. The fact that every single other Final Fantasy but 13 is on modern platforms is ridiculous. Then 1 through 6 in the Pixel remasters, 7, 8, 9 all got ported, 10 and 10-2 are on, 12 got the full remaster, 14's on this, because, you know, 11 servers don't really exist that much anymore, 15's on this, 16's on this, come on! Like, it's really, really apparent that 13's not there anymore. And I get it, the 13 trilogy weren't received well in the West. It's one of the biggest dividing points. Final Fantasy 13, especially 13-1, was received horrendously in the West. People fucking hated it. It sold well, but people hated it. But you know what? It was loved in the East. Final Fantasy 13 was adored in Japan. Make it for that at least, you know? 13-2, more people came around to, but also for a lot of people the damage was done, so people didn't bother with 13-2. But 13-2 is phenomenal as well. But god damn it. You know, like, I want it to be remastered because I think so many years removed from its original release, people might be more prepared to give it another chance. They weren't happy that it was linear at the time. That was the biggest biggest problem with it. That the game is strictly linear, not just in level design, but by character design. Your level and your stats are dictated by your progression in the story. And people just didn't like that. And I get it, but I enjoyed the story they told. I enjoyed the characters they gave. And damn, I just missed the ambition they were going for at the time with it. It has problems. Lord knows, if I ever covered 13, I'll be bitching up a storm about some of its problems. But I still enjoy that game and still think it was dealt a real bad hand. The fact that the biggest thing 13.2 corrected was letting you upgrade your characters of your own merit, and it was enough to change a lot of the general consensus of people who played its opinion, speaks wonders. You know, like, there was a lot of magic in 13.1. It was just a few little things that needed to be cleaned up, and lo and behold, a whole new gameplay system was unlocked. But I digress. I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Remember, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to take that my rest day, but I'll be back on Thursday with the release of Atelier Marie. That's very exciting in all of itself. At least I'm excited. The pre-install started this morning, so I've got the game installed and ready to go for Thursday. Because I got the notification mid-streaming that it had finished installing. So yeah, that'll be fun to go through and experience the remake of the original 1997 Atelier Marie, but fully reborn in like new fidelity with new qualities of life and all the rest. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw though. And in the description of my videos, you can find my Twitter if you want to follow me for like general updates, my Patreon, which once again thank you, one man, or my Patreon's there to support the channel more directly, or if you want to just leave a tip, there's also my PayPal. Not that you have to feel the need to support me in any way, shape or form, it's just there if you would like to. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. One more day on my end. Yeah, don't rush Reverie just to beat Marie in time, you know? Like, embrace Reverie all you can. But regardless, take care. Peace.